Hi guys, I'm Nectaria from Nectar Creations, and I'm back to show you how we're going to put together the cover for this memoir journal. I have gone ahead and I have cut out all my pieces. The front cover, which has the gold emblem, the back cover, as well as the two pieces for the spine, the outer spine and the inner spine. I have also cut out the guides. I'm going to need this to punch the holes so that everything is centered for my pages as well as for the spine. Now, you can do this in two ways. You can use it as it is, or you can put chipboard inside to make it a lot more sturdy, which is what I'm going to do today. I'm not going to give you measurements for the chipboard. It's a lot easier if you actually cut it out and then measure your pieces measure the pieces for your chipboard according to your cut out pieces. This is just because you might be printing on letter size, or you might be printing on A4 size, so your measurements might vary by a few millimeters. I don't want you to be cutting your pieces out wrong. Right. Once you have cut out your pieces, you're going to go ahead and score along the lines. There are arrows on the cutouts at the top and the bottom, but you can also see where the color changes. It's very easy to see where you need to score. Now, I don't have a scoreboard. If you do, it will make your life a bit easier. I just use my metal ruler and the end of a burnishing tool. I just line it up there and go over the area a few times. Then you do need a bone folder or something, so you just turn it and score it nicely. Right. We will come back and we can ink all these edges. So you need to have all your pieces scored. Now let me show you why this cover is a bit different. This is the outer cover, and this is the inside of the outer cover. That's going to turn in like that, so that is your outer cover. Okay, and then this is the back cover. So that is the back of your book. Are you getting the idea now? This is the outer spine and the inner spine. So these two pieces are going to fit into each other like that. There is a gap. There is a gap so that they do fold. Alright. The one piece, this inner section. Oh my goodness, I'm having trouble staying on camera. Okay, this inner piece is going to be is narrower. If you fold these two pieces and fold that spine, you will see that the inner spine is narrower to accommodate the chipboard if you are going to use it, but it will work even if you don't. Alright. To measure your chipboard, the spine section, you are going to use your inner spine to measure the width of that strip that you need for this. So you basically measure exactly in between those lines. You need the height of it and the width of it. Don't measure with the outer spine, because there's not going to be enough room for the front and the back to actually close because of the width of your chipboard. Right, then what I did here is I slipped a piece of chipboard inside, and I basically marked it off. So you want it to be the size of your outer cover and your inner cover. Alright, so let's get started with this. Now you can use any glue. I just happen to have Mod Podge. I like it because it dries pretty quickly. So I'm going to be using that to stick the chipboard onto my cover pieces. I'm going to start with the back and the front cover. And what I decided to do is to put a bit of lace. I found this lace in my stash. I don't know where I got it from. I might have ripped it off a dress or something. So I'm going to be putting this lace on the front, top and the bottom of my book cover. I just thought it matched and I liked that it gave it a bit of a softer look. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to stick on half the back cover, and then I'm going to show you how I stick that in. Now, I don't have foam brushes. I have destroyed all my foam brushes, so I use a piece of chipboard, just a piece that was left over, to actually spread the glue onto my pieces. So I'm going to spread glue onto half of my page. You just spread it on like that. It's so much easier. And you can get a thinner coating on there. You do want it to go right to the edge, but only half for the moment. Alright, now I'm going to be sticking the back. So I'm laying it flat. Just make sure it's flush. Okay, so I've basically stuck half of it on. I'm going to do the same quickly for the other piece. So I'm going to go ahead and stick the spine onto the outer spine. Now you need to just see the piece that is going to be pulled back. So you need to get it centralized so that you have the same gap on the left and on the right. You just basically eyeball it, but you need to do that once you have your Mod Podge on here. So let's get that back open. Alright. Now this you need to spread all over. Again, you don't want it too thick because then it slips and you can't get it tight. You need to hold it while it dries, whereas if you have a very thin layer, it grabs immediately. Alright. Okay, I have that covered. So I'm going to fold these pieces back so that I can see if it's centered. Oh, come on. Okay. A little bit more this way. See, it's stuck already. Okay, so I'm just going to press it a bit, make sure it's just stuck so it doesn't slip and slide. And we'll leave that bit because we need to make holes in that before we stick the rest of it on. Okay, now let's go ahead and put the ribbon on, the ribbon or your lace if you're wanting to do that. Now, the easiest way I've found is I'm going to be doing it on the front cover, this side, and I'm going to be sticking it onto the actual print, not onto the chipboard. I'm using my ATG. This doesn't seem to stick very well onto the chipboard. That's why I'm deciding to do it like this. I'm just going to fold it back, and I'm going to put a line of adhesive right on the edge there. Okay. Now I've pre-measured this, but you can basically do one and then you cut it off, because I'm not going to put it plain straight. I'm going to ruffle it. I'm going to turn in the edge a little bit, just a little bit there, stick it, and I'm going to zigzag this. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. Let me see in a bit. I basically fold it back on its own. Just like that. Made these a bit too tight. I wouldn't recommend you cutting it first. It's just, I did a test run and I didn't have any more of this lace, so I ripped it off the test run and did it again so that I can show you how to do it. You basically need 2.5 times the length of the box so that you can get a nice ruffle. Like we measure curtains. 2.5 times the length of the window. Alright. Now that's going to get sandwiched in between your chipboard. So that's going to get glued and it's not going to come off. So let's quickly do another one. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is, or actually I'll quickly put together the rest of it. Let's do the back as well before we get out the Mod Podge again. Okay, so now we're going to get our Mod Podge back again. This time, again, we're going to leave a strip without glue because I want to tuck the spine into that. So make sure you put glue and leave at least an inch of the edge. Now you just want to press this from the outside to the inside. And you definitely want to press it here on the edges to really get it stuck. It seems to be very messy too. Putting glue all over the place. Alright. So don't forget now that we have this side open and this side open. That just stuck there with the tape. Alright, quickly going to do the same to the other piece, which is the front piece. Okay, so this is going to be the outer cover, and then we have the back cover too. Alright. Okay, that works like that. So we have our two covers. Alright, let's now go ahead and see what we're going to do about the spine. Okay, we've stuck the one piece on the spine. We now need to make holes. You could bind this in a different way. This is just how I decided to bind it, so that I can put many more pages in without having to rebind the whole journal. So I'm going to take my guide for the spine, and I'm going to line it up with my, just make sure it's straight. Okay, maybe it's easier if we do it this way. Alright, so that my holes are centered. And then get my, let's just close my glue. I tend to leave everything open and then it dries. Okay, I'm going to be making the big hole because I have these eyelets which I'm using, which they need the big hole on the crocodile or the big bite. Okay. Oh, sorry, I just have glue everywhere. A bit of a messy worker. Okay. So, once I have lined this up, and I know where I'm going to punch, I'm going to just put it through together, line up my holes, and punch.